What's going on, everybody? C4 here, and welcome to the first ever diss track exposed video roast battle for the Madden YouTube community, more particular the franchise community, because I know that's probably a bunch of beef that goes on between MUT YouTubers, because let's be honest, those people are crazy. So what we're doing this video is in response to the incredibly small minority, like literally if you're putting in percentages, like 5% or less, that watched my debut video for my brand new franchise mode, The Replacements, that dropped yesterday. If you haven't seen it, go watch the trailer. Worked like 5-6 hours trying to make the storyline and the trailer work together. But as you can see by the dislikes, we got 8 dislikes. You can go, whoa, C4, 8 dislikes? You only usually get like 2 or 3 dislikes. I go, yo, I know. But I knew this was going to happen because ultimately, I made a brand new franchise mode because the Toronto Huskies has run its course. We won the Super Bowl with the Huskies, and like every franchise I've done for like the last 6-7 years, once we win the Super Bowl, I move on to something new. Huskies went from August to the new year. Now it's time to take that Husky, put it up behind the shed, not necessarily yeller it, but I gotta wait there for a little bit. Now we need something new. Now I need a new franchise mode that could carry me into hopefully the Madden 20 cycle. And this was an idea that I thought about way back, maybe even before I was gonna do the Huskies. I ultimately decided to do the Huskies, and I'll explain why. But the idea of modeling it after one of my favorite football movies of all time, The Replacement. Essentially, a team goes on strike, and then they build their team up with some former big shots in college, a couple NFL dropouts, and for the most part, maybe not the most part, but for a decent part of the team, they're like just straight up using regular people. They put bouncers at offensive linemen, like sumo wrestlers at D-tackle and all that stuff. I thought that is going to be a fun series. That's a creative series. Definitely want to do it. And when I was brainstorming this, I have a Discord. If you don't check the Discord, I think we got 400 or 500 people in it. I was brainstorming like different franchise mode video ideas. I kind of brought this up. People said, yeah, man, that's really good. Let's do that. But they're like, there's going to be some people, and I will call these people kids, that are going to be like, whoa, you just stole this idea from RBT, or whoa, dude, Not the Expert. I thought you guys were cool. You guys got a beef? Not the Expert? I know you have a big beef with RBT because they didn't bring you to that YouTuber invitational thing, but Not the Expert, bro. And now it's time for that small minority, and I'm only making this video. I hate that I have to make this video, but I'm only going to make this video just because I know for a series that I kind of need to rely off feedback and looking at the comments and stuff, because the comments are already just impossible to look at, that if this whole thing doesn't get nipped in the bud right away, it's just going to keep going and going and going. I don't think it's going to grow because RBT already posted in the video. He said, boom. Don't really know what that means. Hopefully he doesn't say that in airports, but essentially I assume that means he knows what's going on. This is a dope video idea. Go for it, man. Go for it, kind of thing. And that's kind of how I interpret it. So I know that from that standpoint, we're on the up and up. We're all good. There's no beef between him. No, nothing. Even going back to that franchise thing, man. Ultimately, we good. Don't really know the guy a lot, but he's a good guy in my book as far as everything's concerned. Obviously not the expert, top-notch, big fan of Drewski. So let's defend myself. Let's expose everybody. So here we go. At the court, get the gavel going. The 3 franchise modes in question. We have the Replacements, we have the Rejects, and we have the Knights. And all 3 of these teams, when you're trying to find a common link that would draw people to say you're copycatting these people, is this same skeleton that's been used countless times here, but I guess because we're probably 3 of the bigger, one of these things is not like the other ones. People that are doing franchise modes, people are going to say, oh, look at all these similarities. You guys are stealing from each other. Ultimately, the framework is scrap a team, relocate that team, and build the team. That's it. Madden 19 franchise mode is so bland, so hard to be different, so hard to be creative, so hard to put your own spin on things because it's been so redundant. The exact same relocation teams year after year. You're so limited that really this format of scrapping a team, relocating a team, and building it up via various ways is really the only formula to creating a franchise that's entertaining, that has your own creative twist to it. So no one really owns that formula. So now that we kind of have that groundwork of how all these series in question are similar, and how I think it's really the only successful formula that you could use if you want to have longevity to a franchise mode here in Madden. But the whole fact that there's still a bunch of kids that want to say who stole what's going on, you're C4, you're a thief, you steal people's ideas, you're hurting for cash, bro. Well, we talked about the very top, the formula, the framework of scrapping a team, relocating a team, building a team. That is the copyright infringement in question. Initially, there's two we got to talk about, but that's the biggest one, right? So that whole scrap, reload, build formula, what happened here? Who stole from who, really? Now here's where I'm going to sound like just a complete douchebag and defend myself, which I apologies if Not the Expert or RBT is watching this. Hate to do this, not throwing anyone under the bus, just straight up stating facts that this formula started with C4. The Huskies. We did something called the Canada Bill. And actually, when RBT did the rejects, I had a bunch of people coming on my Discord, coming to my comments, hit me up on Twitter saying that he stole my Canada Bill idea and I should go after him. I should just scold that man, scold that young man. I said, man, there's a chance I'm not that big. I don't have that big of an ego that he might not have even saw my video. It's not a common idea, but it's not that unrealistic that he could come up with it his own. But there's no drama. No one owns anything. I was excited to see what he was going to do to spin off from it and make it his own. But ultimately, for those of you, most of you guys that are watching this that don't even need this video to be explained, you know what the Canada Bill is? But the Canada Bill was essentially, we took the Buffalo Bills, moved them to Toronto, but to scrap the team because it was already becoming pretty clear that this team was going to be very, very good, we decided to have LaShawn McCoy and an agent start up this Canada Bill, which essentially would give all the players on our team, because we moved from America to Canada, an out. They could just quit the roster. We had all the good players essentially leave the roster to give us a cupcake squad so that we would have to try and find a way to rebuild this team. It was an added challenge to our relocation team. That video came out September 23rd. So then the comparison to Not the Expert, which I guess the only real comparison is scrapping a team and relocating it, that came out the 28th. That came out almost a week after my video. And then we have RBT's Rejects, who his team, I think it was moving the Jacksonville Jaguars to Ireland. And then basically no one on the team wanted to make that trip, go internationally, so he scrapped the team from that standpoint. That came out in October. That is exactly what we did in the Toronto Huskies. And again, not trying to be like, whoa, C4, RBT stole your idea. No, it's not like that. It's not like that at all. What I'm highlighting to you is that there's so much overlap within this community. If you want to try and be creative, you want to try to be inspired, you want to try to do something different, it's only a matter of time, because you're so limited that very similar concepts get overlapped. No one owns any idea. And really, if you are the first to come up with something, you should encourage other people in the community to have their own spin on it and see what they can do with it. So that is from one standpoint. Next is kind of how the replacements and the rejects could be viewed as similar from filling that format of scrapping a team, relocating and building it, how that team is built, where essentially the rejects is a bunch of, we'll say, fantasy world acquisitions like Brock Lesnar and Peyton Hillis coming back and this and that. Whereas my series, which I don't want to spoil anything, is essentially, it already happened in real life with the exact same team that I've done with scab players, with the replacement players, and the players that we're going to end up going to get are not going to be, fantasy world players or guys that were really, really good. And, what I'm saying? It's going to be completely different how the team is built up, completely different to how the video is presented. But if you want to be in that small minority that isn't satisfied with the first little kind of explanation, and C4, well, you're both using obscure players for your franchise mode. So clearly you're stealing from him. It was done even before us. Beard Mobox did a franchise back in August 22nd, 2018 called Last Chance Franchise, which, surprise, surprise, very similar to the Last Chance U series on Netflix, is built up with obscure players who are trying to have one last opportunity, one last moment of glory in a Madden franchise mode. So all I'm trying to highlight in this video is that no one has stolen from anybody in this community. No one's idea is owned by anybody, because there's always been someone else that has done it first, and ultimately it just comes down to how you put your own spin on things, how you present it differently, what you do as a YouTuber to make that video stand out. I hope you guys do give the replacements a shot. I think it has a chance to beat out the Huskies for the best franchise mode we've done on the channel. And don't feed into all the negative stuff. Don't feed in all to the drama, because that's what other sections of YouTube do to get successful and to make money. Hey, I'm just trying to do the best content I possibly can to provide for my family, provide for my little son. And anything else that gets in the way with that, like this drama, I'm going to come out right away, get in front of it, nip it in the bud, and say, just enjoy every different franchise mode, different strokes for different folks, but encourage everybody to continue to reinvent themselves, continue to try to come up with the best content possible. So that does it for me today, guys. Thank you for watching. Yeah, like I left Not the Expert and RBT's channels in the comments. Unless you're living on a rock, you already know who they are, but go check out their franchise modes, and I hope you guys do enjoy mine. Later, guys.